Okay, so I just wanted to go through the molecule assignment a little bit. So first of all, there is a table with your names on it. So everybody has a different molecule, and I just went basically in alphabetical order. So all of the molecules belong to often more than one organic family. Okay, so I'm going to pretend like my molecule is something called thalidomide. So some of them are medications, some of them are hormones, but they all have functional groups that belong to the organic families. Okay, so the basic information is at a 6, and there are 6 things listed there. So you can just write one each. The IUPAC name or the scientific name is going to be something really wacky. Like here's mine. So just write it out. I can't even fit it. Okay, so super long. The chemical formula, and you can totally use Wikipedia, that's fine. The common names. So if you have a drug, it's often a different name for the drug, and that's fine. Okay, physical properties and chemical properties. Sometimes students find this part a little bit difficult. So even things like solubility, boiling point, melting point, chemical properties, like sometimes you'll find the pH or the flash point, like how flammable it is. In this case, even the molecular mass or the molar mass is fine here. This can be hard to find. Okay, but remember, each one of these is only at a 1. So you only need, or the whole thing is at a 6. So you only need 1 each. And then the location or source. So it is my pretend molecule is a synthetic drug. Okay. And then the diagram of the structure. Okay, so do your best to sketch the diagram. And again, just Google this. Okay, and then it says circle and name the functional group. So what you're going to do is you don't have to name it like 2-methyl, 3-methyl thalidomide or whatever. You just have to name what type of functional group it is. So this one is, for example, this is a benzene. Okay, which is fine. But later on, down here, if you notice it says properties, and you're going to have to talk about whether it's polar, nonpolar, hydrogen bond, hydrogen bonding, write or draw the reaction. Okay, so benzene, we talked a little bit about it, but not too much about its reactions. So I wouldn't pick that one later, but we can talk about that later as well. So what you're going to find is most of them we have stick formulas like this one. So every point or every little thing like this is a carbon. So if you draw your picture and then go back in, so this is a carbon attached to a double bond O, this is a carbon, 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 then it becomes more apparent what kind of functional group you're talking about. Because, for example, here, at first, it looks like they're just nitrogens, and then they had C double bond O attached to them, but really the functional group is N connected to a C, which has a double bond O. So of course, that's an amide. Okay, so all of these, this one's a double one, like C, N, C double bond O. Okay, so those are both amides. And to be honest, you only have to, you could have circled either of those and that would be right, okay? And it says you don't need to name the CC and the CH simple hydrocarbons. Some of yours maybe will have like pentagons. it will not be right over there. Some of yours may have pentagons. Like, you don't have to label that a cyclo, but if you want to, you can. Okay, so you're just looking for ones that are like the alcohol, aldehyde, ketone, ether, those types of families. Okay, so uses, functions, dangers and toxicity, and interesting info. Each of those are out of 2, so you can just use 2 points. Okay, so my molecule is an anti-flu and a hypnotic drug. And then, shockingly, they decided to prescribe it to treat nausea in pregnancy. Seems a little strange. In the 50s and 60s. And those are 2 points. That's perfectly fine. You don't need to write a novel or anything like that, okay? And then the dangers or toxicity concerns. So it is teratogenic, which means it causes birth defects. And it can also cause excessive blood clots. So again, very, very simple. Now, some of you might find like you might actually get like 5 grams per kilogram of body fat, like it's actual toxicity. Some of you might find just general ones as well. Okay. And then all of them have interesting information. So some of yours might even be like, there used to be small amounts of cocaine and Coca-Cola and stuff like that. Like they don't have to be what I have found about my drug. Okay. So anything you think is interesting, and to be honest, you don't have to worry. Am I going to think it's interesting? I will. Okay. I promise. So the mechanism of action is unknown, like really how the drug works. They don't really know. And now it's prescribed for leprosy and cancer. Leprosy and cancer. Okay. So those are sort of unique. There's also more than 10,000 children in 46 countries were born with deformities before they banned it, which seems also a little bit strange as well. But I suppose, it's the history behind it. Okay. So now for the properties part, it says choose one of the following functional groups. Choose one of the functional groups you circled and complete the following. So I'm going to choose the functional group amide. And it is polar because it has the N and the O. You don't even need to explain it, okay? Does it hydrogen bond with water? Yes. Does it hydrogen bond with other molecules? Yes. If it has a free NH. Okay, so in every note, there's a section about naming and then a section about properties, right? So look in there. And then the next part says write or draw the reaction to synthesize it. You could draw, you could pick a general example, a specific example. It really doesn't matter. Okay, so for my molecule my functional group is an amide. You'd use a carboxylic acid, and an amine makes an amide plus water, and this is called a condensation reaction. Okay, and that's it. So the big thing is to make sure that you're checking the molecule list for what molecule you're doing, because everybody's is different. And then if you have any questions, let me know. I'll put this in this file in the Dropbox as a Word document and as PDF. So if you prefer to type, then you can type in the Word document. If you prefer to handwrite, then I'll put it on one that's easier to print off. Okay. Thank you. Let me know if you have any questions by email. Okay.